Let's talk a little Oklahoma transfer portal recruiting, and the big domino that Sooner fans have been waiting for just fell. Quarterback John Mateer from Washington State. He's an Oklahoma Sooner, and now the transfer portal dominoes are about to fall in the Sooners' direction. So I got Josh McCuistion on this one. It is a birthday special video for him. Happy birthday to Josh McCuistion. And we're going to figure out who the next big transfer commitment could be. So before we get going, Oklahoma fans, smash that subscribe button. All right, let's bring in the birthday boy himself, Josh McCuistion, Soonerscoop.com. Josh, John Mateer is the big portal grab of the day for Oklahoma. They've been waiting for this. It was a little slow going in the portal, but how were they able to get John Mateer on board?
Well, I think this was a very planned event. I mean, and I know that sounds so obvious, but, when you look at Oklahoma and the way that they went about their offensive coordinator search, I think you'd be crazy to not acknowledge that this was part of their thought. Like, well, okay, go get Ben Arbuckle from Washington State, and then suddenly you've got an opportunity to potentially turn around and get your quarterback for 2025, and and John Mateer, who obviously had an outstanding year at Washington State. I mean, do I think that was the sole reason that Oklahoma picked Ben Arbuckle? No, I absolutely don't. But is it a really good ancillary benefit? Absolutely. Yeah. And I can't see any way that people could realize, to think those two things were divided.
All right, so the portal has been a little slow for Oklahoma, not departure-wise. Departure-wise, guys have been leaving, some that needed to go, some that maybe were a bit of a surprise, some that produced. So what is next now that Mateer is on board?
Yeah, I think what you expect to see now is probably some movement at wide receiver, where Oklahoma has, again, we talked about it during the season, the injuries basically just turned into the portal, where Oklahoma just doesn't have much of a wide receiver room left at this point in time. So they're going to look for 4 or 5 guys at that position. Javani Gibson from Arkansas Pine Bluff, Keontez Lewis from Southern Illinois. They are looking for some of the kind of hidden gems, I think you would say. That's kind of where I really expect this to start. You're going to see bits and pieces on the defensive side of the ball. Logan George is a defensive lineman that I know they like. And then I would say probably finally on the offensive line, where Oklahoma does already have a commitment from Luke Baklenko from Stanford, but you're going to, they're bringing in Corey Robinson from Georgia Tech. The offensive line is where I feel like you're seeing them go after more of the heavy hitters, maybe some of the guys that everybody's in on in the portal. Yeah. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But I do think there was some effort to kind of wait for Mateer and then allow that to try and build them some momentum as they go forward in the portal.
Well, that was a big addition. So of the guys that left, I mean, like I said, there were guys that need to be cleared off this roster. But what was a surprise to you that departed?
I think you would probably have to say Jalil Farouk was kind of the one that you're like, okay, I didn't see that coming. Nick Anderson is a tremendously talented player. There's a reason he ends up at LSU. But at the same time, I think there were just some differences between himself, the training staff. Like I think there were some problems with that injury that went on all year. So that was kind of foreseeable. But Jalil Farouk was a guy that I think Oklahoma wanted back, had thought would be back. And then it just sounds like some big NIL offers came in for him. I think Oklahoma decided, okay, we can pivot, we can move in a different direction with some of the guys I'm talking about at receiver, and just kind of move forward. There's almost a feeling of like just cleaning the slate. Like I don't think anybody did anything wrong. It's not that kind of situation. I just think maybe Oklahoma saw it as maybe we just need a fresh start in that room.
So how are you feeling about John Mateer? Now that he's on board, why do you think that this is a good fit for Oklahoma?
It's honestly about as good as Oklahoma could possibly hope for. Like you said, the number one guy in the On3 portal rankings, a guy that brings a lot of athleticism. He's a guy in a fan base that needs something to be excited about. He brings that, not just in, he's a good quarterback and he's got some numbers, but the way he plays. This is a guy that OU fans are going to see some Baker Mayfield here. Now, I'm not making that comparison. I'm just saying in the way that they play, there's a lot of aggression, a lot of attitude. He's not going to, shy away from a big hit if it gets him a couple extra yards. He kind of plays on the fringe a little bit. And I think when you marry that to the idea that he already knows this offense, he can help Ben Arbuckle get these guys up to speed. He can work with the receivers. Okay, on this look, we're going to do this. He doesn't have to be Ben Arbuckle teaching everyone. He's got someone who knows it and can really help these, all these receivers that I'm talking about kind of grow into things and learn how they want this offense to run.
Yeah. All right. Well, a huge addition. Oklahoma fans, talk to Josh and I. How you feeling about John Mateer, and who do you think will be the next big transfer to Oklahoma? Let us know. Comment section below.